Hi guys.
Hey guys, we're here in Butterfly Enclosure.
Yeah, we're inside the butterfly enclosure at London Zoo. Sorry about the previous live video. We
And
lost internet connection inside and had to end it early. But we've done a few short videos which we'll put together and post later.
yeah,
So I'm just going to turn the camera around so you can see the butterflies inside of this enclosure. Just see how many we can find. There's a black and yellow one on the leaf over there. There's a black one sitting there with the wings open. Hello, Chia. Hmm? Oh, this one there hanging up to the leaf. The yellow and black one. Table. The black and yellow. This one there looks like it's got lots of eyes.
yes. And oranges and a mango. It's still eating it. Look. It's eating it. It's a great paper. Look. Okay, what are we doing next? We're going out the other end. And this beautiful one here. Okay. Stop. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of butterflies all over the place.
So, what did you say? Selfie with the he landed on the phone. I got a bit stuck.
Some of the different types of butterflies in here.
I was about myself. I was trying to be. You just didn't know.
So that's the big owl butterfly. It's got the owl eye on it. Yeah, that's the one that's had all the eyes on the outside and blue in the middle. That's the black and yellow one.
Central and South America, Southeast Asia.
That's the black and white one. The zebra longwing.
Finish this working.
Yeah.
Look out.
First one here is the tailed jay.
Yeah.
Some of them get very close, don't they?
Mm.
Some of them go low to the ground. It's surprising they don't get stood on. Speeding.
That's not the very clever place for it to be,
No.
is it? Come on, Moth.
Oh yeah. There's another different one. Not sure which one this is. I don't think I've seen this one yet. Get some food out of the little holes on the table. Busy, you know. So we got some orange, banana, mango. Which the butterflies are all feeding from. There's 3 different types of butterflies. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I'd seen some which weren't on that other list. There's Postman, black and red one. No,
Or on the other side.
I'm not sure.
Take it with you.
So moth or butterfly. Moth usually fly by night, breast with wings open, have feathery effect antennae, have fat, hairy bodies. Butterflies generally fly by day, close wings at rest, have fine tipped antennae and slim bodies. Oh, you notice there's that one from the Philippines. There's another one from the Philippines as well. Pink rose and scarlet morgan. Oh, there's the third one. Great yellow morgan.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, almost landed on you.
Yeah.
Has landed on you.
Still there. Still there. Or...
No, it's gone now. Yeah. See if you can see any caterpillars. A slightly big caterpillar there. No, yes. I think that's a caterpillar there. I've never seen one quite like it before. What did you say? Oh, no. Okay. Careful not to knock it. I didn't knock it. Oh, it is. It's a swallowtail butterfly caterpillar. So that one there was one there. Oh yeah, something. These are silk moth caterpillars in here. These are quite big caterpillars, these ones. So imagine they're going to become quite a large moth. There's quite a butterfly there. Well, as he's resting with his wings open, it's got quite a big body. It's going to be some type of moth. There's quite a few pupae hanging here. We've got the caterpillars in them, turning into the moths, the butterflies. See if we can find any caterpillars on here. So these are mixed long wing butterfly caterpillars. Quite hairy by the looks of it. But, alright. There's some little eggs there. It's not showing up very clearly, but all those yellow dots are the eggs. So they're going to be hatching soon. But at present, I can't see any caterpillars on here. There are several eggs. These are the silk moth. These ones have recently hatched, but are still drying out before they're let out to fly around. They're all the pupae which they were inside of. There's also Atlas moth pupae. There's no Atlas moths out yet. There's one there, looks like it's getting ready to come out.
Yeah. So over there.
Yeah. There's several there which have already come out. Just the L butterfly. The great yellow Mormon. I think that's one of the ones from the Philippines.
Oh.
Scarlet Mormon was probably from the Philippines as well, because on that list there were two which had the name Mormon on it, which were from the
Green there,
Philippines.
yeah. So what? Yeah, the scarlet one.
Scarlet and great yellow.
Great yellow. The pink rose is from the Philippines. Yeah, the great yellow
Yeah.
is from Philippines. Three of them, huh?
Yeah, we've got
The pink rose, the other one.
The ones you can see hanging were probably emerged this morning.
okay.
So they hatched out probably maybe 3 or 4 hours ago.
Okay.
And they can't fly yet. They're not ready to fly yet.
How long does it normally take for them to?
Well, several hours.
Several hours, okay.
It's because their wings are very moist and floppy when they first come out.
Right.
And they have to let their wings dry
Okay.
until they're stiff enough to fly with. Once they're fluttering about in there, the keeper will open it up and they can.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Got two. Yeah, we go. Okay, so we're leaving the butterfly house now.
Come to the outside one.
We come outside. There is going to be a talk on the Penguin Beach in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes time. So
Going back there.
we're going to head over to the Penguin Beach now, so we can have a look to see. I imagine they're going to be possibly feeding them and having a little talk on them. There's some macaws over here, blue and yellow macaws. There's a red macaw up there. Let's have a look so we can get a decent. There isn't many people at the Penguins at the moment, so we can get up close. You ready to see the Penguins?
Yes, I am ready.
I'm glad you are.
How about you guys?
So, do we want the bottom or the top? Because there's several people sitting over there.
Yeah, they can sit down. You can sit down.
I don't know if we're able to stay up there or not. But there's the Penguins. They know it's feeding time, so they're out ready. They're out swimming, waiting for the food. Here they come. There's quite a large enclosure. It's all the way over there. There's several penguins here. But it's certainly not overcrowded. They've got plenty of space.
Down upstairs or the bottom one?
Yeah. See if we can find somewhere to sit. Yeah. They're Humboldt Penguins from Chile and Peru. Oh, we've got a school trip coming. Yeah. Nice view of the penguin enclosure here. Oh, it's going to start raining now. It's due to start now, so hopefully somebody will be here. Hmm. Oh, yep. The herons know what's about to happen. Even they know when feeding time is. Two on the roof and there's one in the enclosure. There might even be another one in the enclosure in the distance. Can't see properly from here. I think it is. I think she's looking for somebody else.
It's still watching,
Yeah, there's quite a lot over there. But once the food stuff is being thrown in, I'd imagine a lot of them will come over. But some of them have probably got eggs in some of those huts. Now it's turned around, I can see for definite it's a heron in the distance there. So there's 4 of them here.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you are around Penguin Beach at the moment or just passing by and want to come along and join us, do come and grab yourselves a seat in the stadium seating area. Make yourselves nice and comfortable. And I'm going to spend just a few minutes telling you a little bit about our fantastic colony of penguins. So we have got just one type or species of penguin here. So every single penguin that you can see here at Penguin Beach is a Humboldt penguin. Now, out in the wild, they would come from the coastal regions of Peru and Chile. So these are some of your South American penguins, which sometimes surprises people. So when you say the word penguin, generally speaking, people will quickly conjure up images of maybe very, very cold, snowy, icy parts of the world. And yes, you can absolutely, of course, find penguins down around the edges of Antarctica, around the South Pole. However, there are 18 different species of penguin, and between them, they can be found pretty much throughout the whole of the southern hemisphere. So that's the bottom half of the world underneath the equator. And within that, they can be found in some nice, warm, sunny places as well. So did you know, for example, there are penguins that like to do a little bit of sunbathing on the beaches of South Africa and Namibia? You can find penguins in Australia and New Zealand. As we said, the Humboldts come from places like Chile and Peru, so they can be found in some nice, warm, sunny places as well as those cold, snowy, icy regions. Now, of those 18 species of penguin, these Humboldts are what you might describe as medium size as penguins go. So some of the species can be a lot bigger. Some of them, believe it or not, can even be a lot smaller. So the very largest species of penguin in the world is one called the emperor penguin, which stands at a mighty 4 foot tall. That is over a metre high, pretty enormous for a penguin. And then they can also go right down in size to the little blue or fairy penguin, which measures a teeny tiny, incredibly cute, just 1 foot or 30 centimetres in height. So our Humboldts, as you can probably tell, are kind of somewhere comfortably in the middle of that size range. Now, as you might have noticed, it is just about to be one of our penguins' many snack times throughout the day as well. So you guys are here just in time to see how penguins get a little bit of a lunchtime snack. Any ideas, any penguin experts in the audience? If I count to 3, do you reckon you could shout out what you think our penguins might be getting for their lunch? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Absolutely. I knew you looked like penguin experts. Absolutely right. They are having some lovely fish for their lunch. That is one of their favourites. In actual fact, fish makes up around 80% of a penguin's diet. And our penguins are going to be enjoying a fishy snack. Now, you might also notice our keepers blowing that whistle. This is because we usually do a little bit of training with our penguins around their meal times as well. So they know if they go in the direction of that whistle, that is where they're going to get their delicious fishy snack. So our penguins are going to be nice and active and enjoying a little bit of fish this afternoon. Now, as we said, there are 18 different species of penguin found around the world. So they come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, but they will always have certain important things in common. So one of those, of course, being their favourite food, which, as you guys have correctly told me, is definitely fish. Another feature that you will find on every single penguin, probably one of the most iconic features of a penguin, are going to be those very smart black and white colours. Now, not only does this make the penguins look very smart, very well dressed indeed, but the real reason is that it's a very clever form of camouflage called counter shading. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, oh, black and white penguins, nice blue pool. I can see them really easily. They don't seem very camouflaged here at Penguin Beach. But if you think about penguins out in the wild, out in the deep, dark oceans, where there are penguins swimming around, but there are also hungry animals, predators that might like to eat those penguins, it is a very clever camouflage indeed, because anything swimming above a penguin and looking down, those black backs from above are going to blend in really well with the deep, dark ocean below. And similarly, anything swimming underneath the penguin and looking up, those white bellies from underneath are going to blend in with the surface of the water and the bright sky above. So out in the sea, they are practically invisible, which is very useful, hopefully keeping the penguins nice and safe rather than ending up as anybody else's lunch. Now, as you've all just noticed, I'm seeing lots of umbrellas popping up there. It has just started to rain a little bit. Of course, our penguins don't mind that at all. In fact, you might see them getting extra active. Sometimes a heavy rain shower starts them doing all sorts of fantastic little excited jumps in and out of the water, because, of course, penguins are adapted for a life in and around the water. They are still birds. Don't be caught out by that. So people sometimes get a little bit confused by this, and I will give you, they are not the most bird-like of birds when we watch them, but they are definitely still birds. So they do still have beaks, they do still have wings, they do still have feathers. In actual fact, not just one, but 2 layers of feathers. So the outer layer acts a little bit like a wetsuit, keeping the penguins nice and waterproof. And then underneath that, they've got a nice thick insulating layer to keep them warm in even the coldest of waters. So a little bit like I'm sure many of you are probably very sensibly dressed today. So you've maybe got a nice waterproof jacket on the outside and probably a nice cozy jumper underneath that as well. So they've got their 2 layers of feathers. They've got their lovely black and white counter shading camouflage. They've got that lovely streamlined, almost torpedo shaped body, helping to power them through the water, so they can swim at some fantastic
You
speeds.
could hold the
And
phone if
penguins
you
are
want.
actually the deepest diving of all of the aquatic birds
you.
as well. Now, one thing that, of course, they can't do is fly through the air. You'll never see a penguin fly. So that's in a comparison to our very cheeky intruders that have joined us as well. So we can see all of these gulls swooping overhead, and 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 very, very cheeky herons dotted around Penguin Beach as well. Now, birds like the gulls and the herons have actually got really light, hollow bones to help them fly through the air. Penguins, on the other hand, although as we've established, they are definitely still birds, but they've got really dense, solid bones to help them sink in the water even better when they're diving. So although we didn't invite the gulls or the herons along, they just decide to swing by at feeding time. They do make quite a handy point for comparison. But back to our penguins, and more specifically, the Humboldt penguins. Just a couple of features that you might be able to notice if you have a good look. You might be able to notice kind of a pink fleshy band just around the base of the beak. That's one of the features you'll notice on the Humboldt penguins. And also, if you look really carefully, you might also notice a lovely pattern of black spots all over that white belly. Now, the incredible thing there is that every single one of them has a unique spotty pattern as individual as our fingerprints are to us. So in other words, if you had the time, the patience and the inclination, you could teach yourself to recognise any Humboldt penguin in the world from their unique spotty pattern. Although, just to make it a little bit easier here, you might have noticed that ours are also colour-coded. So all of our penguins sport a very snazzy little identity bracelet just around the top part of the wing. And those have different schemes of different coloured bands and different coloured beads, just to make it a little bit easier for us humans to tell who's who at a glance. And yes, they do all have names as well. So there we go, just a little introduction to our penguins who have thoroughly enjoyed their fishy lunchtime snack. Now, they will be out and about and nice and active, whatever the weather. But if you would prefer to get out of the rain, we have plenty of nice, warm, dry, indoor places that you can do that. For example, we're not very far from our brand new Giants of the Galapagos exhibit, where you can meet our giant tortoises, Dolly, Polly, and Priscilla. Or if you pop yourselves through the tunnel to the other side of the zoo, we've got our lovely, warm, indoor rainforest as well. Perfect for a day like today. But apart from that, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day here at ZSL London Zoo. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 herons there now that I can see. Herons are naturally wild in England, but they're not something I would have expected to find in the middle of a city.
You have it.
Though I suppose there is the big River Thames that runs through the city, but it is quite dirty.
I bought myself another 2.
And where we live, we've got the canal, which is stocked with lots of fish, and it's fairly, it isn't full of rubbish. So it tends to be a lot healthier, and there's a lot more natural habitats there for the herons, unlike here. But they still survive in the middle of the city. Especially with the penguin enclosure here. Lots of free, easy food. Shall we go down and have a look, see if we can see them a bit closer? I'll go that way. Follow the leader. Big steps. Oh, that one's loose. Go over there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's angry. Look, hey. They're okay. They're so bad, aren't they?
Watch my colour. Jumping penguins. Oh, this one's getting very excited of the rain. The nuts. Just see it. This penguin. The lady said that they enjoy the rain and they tend to start darting around and jumping a bit more. It's the only one. The only one I can see is doing it. But it's out of energy now. Yeah. They'll go down and eat it over time. So if some of them have got eggs over there, then they'll wait for their partner to come and get the fish and then go back. Then the partner, not sure, on some penguins, the partner then feeds the one guarding the eggs. On other ones, they swap over and the other one takes turns. Right. And we're going to say goodbye now because it's raining. Hello, hello, penguin. How are you? You enjoying the rain? It's getting very wet now, so we're going to go and say goodbye and we're going to go inside. So, bye from her. Bye from me. See ya.